Alright, what we're going to be doing here is mounting an Ebling back blade, and we're also going to take it off the truck. Here's the hitch of an Ebling. This is the plow itself. These parts here, there's one on each side. You can see there's a little cutout, and then there's a hole where a pin goes through. Right here on the side of the hitch, that little spot right there is where that little cutout goes. Basically it keeps the hitch from doing that number in that pocket. There's a 1-inch pin that goes through that hole there. Keep the plow from falling off the truck when you're plowing and driving around the road and so on and so forth. That is the hitch on the Ebling itself, or for the Ebling itself rather. That's what bolts through the truck. It's a class 5 hitch. It is rated for a max weight of carrying capacity of 14,000 pounds. The gross trailer weight for the tongue weight is 1,400 pounds. The max distributing weight of this hitch is 16,000 pounds, and the max tongue weight for the distributing weight is 1,600 pounds. The hitch is set up so that obviously this piece here slides into the pocket like so. Same setup on the other side. It is very simple to do. Excuse me, you just have to basically have just a little bit of patience for it until you get better at it. You can see on the plow here's a jack to keep the plow held in an up position when you take it off the truck. That way in a day or two you don't come back and things on the ground or whatever. You don't have to use a floor jack to put these things on like some front plows and all that. This is very simple to do. It is a one-person operation. It is a little bit ideal with two, but that's alright too. Here are your plugs. The big gray one is for the battery. Supplies battery from the truck's battery back to the pump itself. There's a solenoid on the pump underneath that black cover there, and then the black plug is for controlling the valves on the pump itself. There is a control box here that I built myself. This is not available by Ebling. Ebling does have one available. It is just for these two plugs itself, and then you have to mount this yourself. I went ahead and made this. It just worked out better for me, and it's just an overall better design, I think, personally. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to back up to the plow, and then I'm going to hook up my battery cables and my control cable, and so I can move the plow up and down so I can get it ready to slide into the pockets on the hitch. Cables hooked up. As you can see, the plow is sitting lower than the hitch on the truck. So what I'm going to do is back here on the control box, right there's a switch that will bring the plow up and down. That way I don't have to keep going back and forth to the cab, to the controller, and guessing myself of where it is. I can be right back here and view it going up and down. Jack handle is loose, the locking bolt that holds that handle is loose, so I don't mess the jack up, and I can move the plow down, I can move the plow up. One more little bump there. again, what I'm trying to achieve here is to put this piece into that pocket there. And the same thing on the other side. I'm not sitting too bad right now, but I'm just going to double check it when I back up to it. See, I backed into the hitch here. But you can kind of see this is on an angle going downwards, which means the plow is sitting too high to go into this pocket, meaning it's going to bind up on me and not allow me to slide into that plow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower it like that. I can go a little more if I want, but I think that's going to work out best for me right there. See, backed in without any problems. The light here is just simply so you guys can see. This is that little pin I was telling you about. Here's the hole for those pins to slide into, and you can see that pin isn't going to slide in there. So what I can do is move that up and down. You can see it got a little better there. Take my pin. Here it is. It's got a lynch pin on the top to keep it from sliding out. Slide that in. It's going to fight me, so I can move the plow up and down. Like that. Slide it in. Lock my lynch pin in place. And this side is done. The plow is hooked to the truck on this side. It's very important to do both sides. See again. It's a little dark. I have another light. There's the pin on that side that's welded in for the hitch here, and that hole looks about right. So we're going to try and slide the pin in. Take my lynch pin out. Slide it in. It's going to fight me a little bit. I'll adjust the plow. Down with it. Touch more. Up, and that pin's in. Slide my lynch pin in. And we're all set on this side. Very important to take your jack. The handle is loose. Slide your jack up. Apologize, the camera's moving. Always lock it in place. They give you a pin. There's a little hole on the side of the jack. You slide that in there. And I always loosen that and then tighten it back down. What that pin does is keeps the plow, or keeps this jack in the up position should you lose this little lock here, so that when you're out plowing or driving around, the jack doesn't all of a sudden drop and want to dig into the pavement. Now for the dismounting of the Ebling, you reverse the steps. I'm going to take this pin out. Lower my jack. I'm going to leave it loose. I'm going to take my lynch pin out. Pull my pin out. Again, there's no pressure on the pins right now. Obviously, I just hooked it up. So they're going to come right out. That one's a little tight. Still pretty tight. I went too far the wrong way. Now it's loose, comes right out. Now what I want to do is you can kind of see I can watch this hitch in this pocket. Moves up and down. I just want to see in a spot where I think it's going to be free to move around. It's not going to be binding on that pin right there. And that'll keep the plow from binding up when I want to pull away. I don't take the plow with me. What I usually do is I pull out from the plow about that far. I'll come around here. I'll tighten my jack down so that the plow will stay in place. Come over here to my connection. I'll disconnect my battery plugs. When the plow is off the truck, I'll pull away so that the plow is free. Dismounting is just as easy as putting the plow on. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or give Ebling and Son Blacksmith in Grand Rapids, Michigan a call, and they will be happy to answer any questions that you may have.